Coming up soon, Chris and Stu will bring you all the latest in boxing, MMA and combat sports from around the globe. It's Powered 4 TV's powerhouse, Big Fight Weekly, 100% live. Here's some of the best clips of Big Fight Weekly from 2021.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is episode 2 of Powered 4 TV, Big Fight Weekly. We cover it fast, quick, boxing, MMA, quicker than Phileas Fogg around the world in a hot air balloon, Chris. And here is my co-host, Chris Hume. How are you, Chris?
Steve Coogan. Yeah, not bad. That's great, yeah.
Big Fight Weekly, faster than a Lyoto Machida crane kick to the face, Chris.
Which one? Belfort or Randy Couture's?
They were both equally good, mate. I was probably gearing towards Couture, but you know he was aging as a fighter. Welcome. It's episode 4 of Powered 4 TV, Big Fight Weekly, with myself, Stuart Palmer, and my co-host, my cousin, Chris Hume, and we're going to give you a deep dive in boxing and UFC and MMA this week again. God, I couldn't get my words out then, could I? Christ alive. And I tell you what, I'll just get it in there now before I forget, quicker than a Kamaru Usman takedown.
A double leg.
In a few moments, we'll be live in the studio with Chris and Stu.
This is Liam McGeary, and welcome to the Big Fight Weekly.
But yeah, I mean, like, I worked in construction, mate. Like, the recession kicked in and everything stopped. I was delivering TVs for this company, Fortuna, and it was crap, you know what I mean? But at least I wasn't so tired, so I could finish work quickly and then go to the gym, train for about 5-6 hours, and then go home, you know? So yeah, it was just a timing thing, and I guess it was the right time for me to go forward and pursue this fight career.
Yo. This is Stephen USSR Robinson on Powered4.tv, a Big Fight Weekly for a special fight at Focus with Chris and Stu. Tune in. Boom!
And the whole USSR thing was, I think it was just a gimmick where we thought, right, you know, turn pro now, let's go off the back of the red and yellow, the Ivan Drago shorts, Rocky wasn't sensational hit. And I've been called it now for sort of 6 years within boxing, so we just decided to go along with it and you know give it a go and see how it went, and it's worked well.
Yeah, but you do look like him though, so you can't get away from that though. Right, yeah.
I'm trying to look for a photo of me real dad just to show you I look not where my man must have been at a Comic-Con back in 1990.
Where Dolph Lundgren, yeah.
Brilliant.
He can throw a few punches here and there and not have that worry that someone's going to take him down, because you don't want to be, you don't want to be on top of him, or you don't want him on your back, because he's like an anaconda, and he'll find a way to submit you. And like I say, he's one of the best in the UFC with jiu-jitsu, and I think he's got most wins in UFC with submissions as well. It's an interesting fight, and it is really like a tale of Dustin Poirier's cardio, Dustin Poirier's heart, all that shit he had to go through with Conor McGregor. He silenced Conor McGregor, let's just say, in the last 2 fights completely, showed his heart, his desire,
And even Chael Sonnen has chimed in this week as well. He's going for Woodley to win this. How do you see it going, Chris?
Well, personally, I wouldn't go off what Chael Sonnen says, mate, because Chael Sonnen's record when it comes to prediction, he gets it terribly wrong.
Somebody said that below, but yeah, I'm with Chael on this one, but yeah.
I just think he gets it wrong all the time.
So I'm Dave Faulkner, two-time World Submission Wrestling Champion, Tough 9 participant, World MMA Champion, and this is Big Fight Weekly.
Well, 4 people had staff on the show at once, and it was very close for the whole show to get closed down. But then they brought in this ginger girl who was like a life coach, and she was she told us to use PMA, positive mental attitude, and she said to it, and I'll quote, she said, "If you tell yourself you ain't got staff, then you ain't got staff." And two of the American kids, get on this though, 2 of the American guys who had staff, who were going, yeah, I totally believe that, man, I totally believe it. They actually didn't have staff after 4 days or something, so it must work.
Hey guys, this is Jake Cross, President of UK Fighting Championships and owner of Empire Grappling. You are now tuning in to the Big Fight Weekly.
I can lean on them and they can lean on me, whereas Empire is just me, and I have a really bad tendency not to delegate. I like to control too much, and that's not because I'm a control freak, it's because if you're going to do it right, do it yourself, and that's sort of, I just like live by that, and that's why it's getting to the point now where Empire's an animal. I have probably 60 staff on the day, which I can start to sort of lean on and delegate, but it all still comes back down to me. If there's a problem, it's there for me to fix.
You're like the younger version of Vince McMahon, Dana White, Jay.
Do you want to be referred to as the English Dana White? I've been referred to as the English Eddie, or the new breed of Eddie Hearn, which I would, if I make even 1% of what they've made, or even their success, I'll take that.
Hi guys, this is Thomas, professional MMA fighter, also ex-professional boxer. Make sure you tune in to Big Fight Weekly this week. Awesome podcast, get involved.
Talking boxing, I'm going to say Marco Antonio Barrera. I used to love Ricky Hatton at the time because I was a big British boxing fan. And if I'm talking MMA, then I'm going to go with Chuck Liddell because he's the person who made me switch my boxing to MMA, and I just fell in love with the sport from then. Chuck Liddell when he fought Tito Ortiz, and then I was just, from then on, it was no looking back, and that was a long time ago. I started MMA when I was 31, Joe, so it's like I started late in my career, so I needed to get a move on, so I couldn't wait around too much to see what was going on there, so I just moved on, and got a few more fights, and then got HD management to sign me up, and a management team, and then they looked after me from there. They got me all the fights, so I had some good management team.
This is your boy Chili Willie, ECW original, everybody's favorite homeboy, and yo, you need to check out the Big Fight Weekly.
Who does tougher training
on the body? Wrestlers, boxers, or MMA fighters? That's a good question. That is.
That is
Chili.
Really a good question. That's huge, man. Wow. I would probably say MMA fighters, just because they have to not just deal with their hands and their feet, but they have to deal with the wrestling, the grappling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been a good long ride, hasn't it? We've had some absolutely fantastic fights, along the way since we started the show. You've got to jump out and say Brett Thomas and his constant Jake and Logan Paul, comments for the whole almost 12 months of us doing this. So there's been some sure good highlights.
Thank you to all the guests that have come on as well. We've had a few of them, and we've tried to mix it up. It wasn't just about reviewing, previewing. We've tried to mix it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for all the latest fight action. Direct from Wales in the United Kingdom, 100% live, it's Big Fight Weekly with your hosts Chris Hume and Stu Palmer.
I look into the mirror and all I see is failure staring back at me.
A warm welcome. It is episode 48 of Powered4.tv Big Fight Weekly with myself, Stuart Palmer, and my co-host and cousin Chris Hume. How are we, mate?
Yeah, not bad. First day back after having a week off, so just a bit tired, but it's good to be back on, and it's good to do this with you. Talk about some fights. Have Liam McGeary on in half an hour. I'm bouncing and ready for all this, mate.
It's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. We've got Liam on at 6 o'clock UK time for around 20-25 minutes, we reckon. The first portion of the show, though, we're going to do the boxing. Chris, unbelievable what transpired on Saturday evening as Josh Taylor retained on a split decision. They're either Stevie Wonder or they've took a backhander, the judges, mate, because Jack Catterall won 8 or 9 rounds of that fight. And it's unbelievable. And it's gone to the boxing board now. It's there's an investigation going on, isn't there, off the back of it? You've got to be Stevie Wonder if you didn't see that Jack Catterall's won that fight. He's won 8 or 9 rounds, Chris.
It was quite clear to see. I watched that today, so obviously I want it fresh in my mind going into today's show. So I watched it. Catterall was completely dominant. I'd say from round 4 and onwards, and he dropped Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor didn't drop him, so I'd believe in him in a boxing. Isn't that like a 10-8 when you get dropped in a round?
It's a 10-8 round, mate. It's a 10 round.
Right.
Then he felt the ref felt obliged to give it to Josh Taylor later. As if I've given a 10-8. Dock the point for you earlier. I'll bring it back, mate. There's something not right here, mate. And now that it's been investigated, there's going to be big problems. And there's going to have to be a rematch.
I was going to say, is that where they'd be heading?
Unbelievable, mate. You just it's almost like Jack Catterall's getting the W. That's it, man. And he was southpaw as well. Josh Taylor couldn't deal with it, mate. The intensity, kind of the way he fights. Jack Catterall just went at him. It was incredible. It was incredible to watch, and it's just an absolute miscarriage of justice.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You say about how Josh Taylor fights, and Jack Catterall was, emulated his sort of fights, his fighting style on Josh Taylor. But I felt like Josh Taylor was really off it. The first couple of rounds, yes, he was okay. He wasn't clearly winning the fight at all, even in the earlier rounds. He didn't sort of break away, did he? But his gas tank didn't look great either. Like, he was quite sloppy, and I think he got caught up in a brawl sometimes when he was sort of trying to fight in the phone box, but a lot of his punches were missing. Where Jack Catterall was, connecting quite often, and every time he came in, and he caught him with a good, it was a good jab and an uppercut every time he was coming in on Josh Taylor.
Just the rhythm and the timing on Josh Taylor, mate, it just wasn't there. Which we're so accustomed to seeing it, mate. I like we said last week. He can do defensive. He can take shots. He's very good defensively normally, but it was just coming through his guard. I don't know. I think he struggled with the left hand with the southpaw stance. They're in camp. They're in camp for so long.
But also, do you think that in that sort of performance, you're looking at someone that's looking at his opponent in Jack Catterall and thought he's a nobody and overestimated?
I think he's underestimated. I think he's underestimated by a long stretch. Has he got a bit complacent because he'd beaten 5 undefeated fighters prior. I think he's totally miscalculated. Jack Catterall hasn't been in with the caliber of people at super lightweight, but he was up for it. He was bang up for it, and it was a problem. It was almost like the kryptonite, wasn't it? If you're going to throw a word at it, and they've got to make a rematch now, Chris.
Well, it makes sense now.
Unless it gets overturned as part of this investigation that is, obviously happening now. I was shocked, mate. Really. And I discredited Jack Catterall a little bit because I thought he's just not been in with the caliber of people Josh Taylor has. But as we say, Chris, complacency on Josh Taylor's end. Even Ben Davison in the corner, it went on for rounds and rounds, didn't it? In between, he's trying to tell him what to do, and he just couldn't. They tried changing the tactics as they were going through to try and land and stuff. It just didn't work, mate.
He didn't look like he was up for it, did he? I think it just looked like really, really slow. you know, like in a game, and when you're playing online, it glitches, doesn't it? And then it catches up with itself. That's kind of what it felt like watching Josh Taylor. He'd throw a punch, but it took like a long time to get there, and then it got there, and Jack Catterall was out the way, and then he was countering him. He just looked very sloppy, disinterested, thinking that he could just cruise through this fight. And you know, what I mean, he obviously didn't. And Jack Catterall came in and wanted the belts and came in hungry. I think that's all the difference, isn't it? I think Josh Taylor didn't come in hungry enough. It's arrogancy again, isn't it? When you've got all the belts and, as you say, he's taken so many people's O's recently, and you're thinking he could just walk through Jack Catterall. Obviously, he didn't. It's a farce. The judging's a farce. You know, what I mean, I've seen, you know, some iffy ones in MMA, but this one is by far it's either fixed or that, as you say, they haven't got the glasses on properly, because it clearly was a loss to Josh Taylor here. Clear.
I think the fact that it wasn't a unanimous victory for him either, it was a split. It was a split, you know, just so they made sure he got through.
It wasn't even close to a split.
I know it's in Glasgow. That's all I can think of. This is all that's running through my mind. You know, something has gone on. There's been a backhander somewhere. I guarantee it.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
The thing is, mate, you know, he had ambitions to go to welterweight. Off the back of that, mate, he's going to struggle. You put him in with an Errol Spence. Terence Crawford actually commented on Twitter. He couldn't believe what he'd seen, you know, in terms of judging after, and Jack Catterall not getting it. But he won't be good enough at the elite end at welterweight if he couldn't get through that the other night. I'll say it.
Was it an off night though? Is it an off night though? Thinking if they do get rematched, I think it's a problem again. I think it's a problem again for him. He's gonna have to box the best he's ever boxed to come through it again. Absolutely, it's just disgraceful. It's disgraceful. Yeah, it's not
something
good.
gone on there, and it's going to come out in the wash, Chris.
Well, considering it's been, you know, looked at by the board now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone's probably shit in their pants somewhere, thinking, "Shit, I should have taken that bribe." Isaac has made some comments here, Stu.
Here we go. Come on, Isaac from Norwich, my good pal. Evening, lads. Yeah, the Taylor fight was fixed for sure. Yeah, Isaac, how many rounds did Jack Catterall as well? Also, Stu, we were wrong with the fight prediction again. I'm going to keep my mouth shut in the future. I think getting that one wrong was worse than the week before, personally.
Yeah, but again, it's one of those fights that happens. Again, I'm going to go back to Nunes again. It's one of those where it just happens, doesn't it?
Well, we did get it right. We did get it right, but we've got it by a default.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We did get it right, Isaac. In the judges' eyes, anyway, into the judges' eyes. But yeah, Chris, anything to add on this? What do you think will come of it? Rematch? It's got to be a rematch, hasn't it? If they don't chalk it off and give it to Catterall after this investigation.
Well, obviously it depends. You can't chalk it off at the moment, can you? I think it's going to have to be a case they're going to have to deep dive in their investigation and really go through this, you know, properly. And if it is as bad as, you know, what we think, then yeah, it should be chalked off and it should be given to Jack Catterall. But I don't see that happening because that'd be too much. That'd be too much for the sort of boxing as a sport, won't it? It'd be. I think the rematch. I think maybe
they've got to do it in Manchester with Jack Catterall's from that area.
You've got the O2, haven't you?
Yeah, they could just do it where it's neutral, because that's the hometown boy, you know, getting through. And look, he's a fantastic boxer. He's achieved so much. He was great at amateur level, Josh Taylor. But as you said, Chris, it might have been an off night. Ben Davidson's a very good trainer. We know this. I'm sure they can sort it. But I think he is a problem. You know, when you meet a guy sometimes and prior, they're not expected to do much. And how wrong were we?
Surprise you? Yeah. But that just happened. That's the sport we love, Stuart. And that's the surprise that makes you fall in love with the sport when you think this person can't beat the main guy and they go and blow him out of the water. You know, 9 times out of 10 they get the rematch and they lose the rematch, don't they? But it's still like, I love the fairy tale of combat sports because these things can happen if the judges actually give the right person.
Yeah, if they've got any sense of pride, then you wouldn't have done that. But Chris, do you want to roll the VT with Carl Frampton, former world champion, obviously a fantastic boxer?
Yeah,
here's Carl Frampton's for.
This is Jonathan Aggoff here for Pro Boxing Fans. We've just seen Josh Taylor retain his undisputed crown with a split decision win over Jack Catterall. I'm joined by Carl Frampton. Carl, what's your immediate reaction to that?
Oh, I thought Jack Catterall won the fight. I'm asking everybody around ringside, and they all thought Jack Catterall won the fight. I just want to make it clear that I'm good friends with Josh and Jack, but I always like to be honest, and I try to score a fight from a neutral perspective, and I don't see a way that a judge gives that to Jack. If I'm being honest, I think the judges didn't have control of the fight. I don't think the referee had control of the fight. There was 2 point deductions. I don't think any of them were warranted. If I'm being honest, it was almost like, I've give him a deduction, I'm going to give you a deduction. It's just this fucking game. It's you get sick of it. You know what I mean? I love Josh. I'm going to his wedding, by the way. Hopefully I still am. Love him, and I love his family. I love his fiance to be, or his wife to be, Danielle, and his mum and dad. Great people, but you have to be fair. And the wrong man got his hand raised. Simple.
There we go. He's very close to him, but he's good friends with Jack Catterall as well, Chris.
Sounds very much like Seamus Coleman, actually, to be honest with you.
He is from the north, Carl, Tigers Bay. Yeah, not far from where Nana was from. But yeah, he's
right.
Northern Irish, he is. But Chris,
just not like Coleman.
Did you take away from Carl Frampton there?
You can see he's really frustrated. Obviously trying to state that he was friends with both. Didn't want to overstep his line, but you want to be honest. But you can see, him saying "fuck" and looking up. He was astonished by the result and the way the judges have chosen Josh Taylor as the winner. When you've got your own sort of friends thinking that, it's difficult, isn't it? But you can see how frustrated Carl Frampton was there. But again, these things need to be ironed out and sorted out properly. Maybe we need to find officials in boxing that don't come from the company. Some other people. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. Obviously, I think you see it in the UFC, don't you? As well, they
get thrown out though. Don't forget that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, maybe they need to do the same thing with the boxing, man. But don't want to spend too much longer on this. But hopefully we'll see in the coming days, the weeks, what happens with this after this investigation. But Chris, are we going to move on to the big man, Lawrence Okolie?
Yeah.
Are we ready? We are ready. So he comes through it. He got 12 rounds in as well, did Mr. Okolie against Michal Cieslak. I tell you what, there was a lot of Poles in that crowd last night, Chris.
Yeah, I did. I watched it today, so yeah.
They made a lot of noise, as the Eastern Europeans like to do. He dropped him in the 5th round. He hurt him in the 1st round, did Lawrence. He said it was awkward trying to get his shots in, his shoulders where they were positioned. And as you can see there, Izzy was still in town. Obviously, the Nigerian connection, their heritage. I've seen that they are very good friends, Okolie and Adesanya, and big man Joshua there as well with that WBO cruiserweight title of Okolie's. But I think it was just a tricky one for him, Chris. He's been explosive, as we've seen when we've covered him on this show, and he's took people out. But I think it was good. Cieslak's only lost one fight in his career. Alunga Makabu, that was a UD 2 years ago, maybe. So he's good. He's a good fighter. He's decent at that level. But Lawrence Okolie came through it, had him ahead. He was definitely ahead on the scorecard. Some of the scores were a bit tight. I think it was a bit wider. Some of the judges, they get it a bit too close, don't they? But all in all, Chris, I think it was good for him to get the rounds in. He got the 12 rounds in, which he needed. But it was tricky. Yeah. It was a tricky night. But he's got through it.
I find like I can't pronounce the Polish guy's name.
Michal Cieslak.
But I feel like when I was watching this fight today, wasn't going for it per se. I know he was trying to counter Okolie every time Okolie come in, because Okolie's got such a weird but wide stance, hasn't he? But when he comes in, but he's bouncing like a karate fighter. Reminds me a lot of like Stephen Thompson when Stephen Thompson's on his toes. But he kept on coming in and stifling Okolie with the hug, so didn't he? Constantly
he kept him close, Chris, because he knew if Okolie started working the jab and the uppercuts, he had enough distance to do so. They did tactically. I didn't want to jump in. He kept himself in close.
Yeah,
to
he was
stop,
grabbing him a lot,
power
though.
punches coming through. Yeah, the hugging and the tying up was annoying. And even Eddie Hearn said about it after. But yeah, carry on, mate. Sorry, I'm jumping in.
That's what I was trying to say. The fight itself was like quite painful to watch when you've got one guy that wants to fight and the other guy that wants to hold on to him. And obviously, he did catch the guy. I can't do it.
Michal Cieslak. It's fine. I'll do it.
Cieslak.
Yeah.
But he caught him a couple of times when he tried to grab him. I think it was the fourth round when he caught him and he dropped him. Then he dropped into a knee. But you can see what Okolie was trying to do. But every time Okolie was trying to sort of break away, make some space for himself, and land a jab or land an uppercut or an overhand, that the guy was just grabbing hold of him. And you can see a lot of people getting frustrated. I found it funny seeing Israel Adesanya in the crowd with his Nigerian flag, and he was getting involved and jumping up and down, wasn't he? And it's just one of those sort of fights, isn't it? You're going to fight these sort of people in boxing where they don't really want to come and fight you. They don't want to engage. They just want to sort of hold on. You know what I mean? There's no interest in actually trying to box with you or actually try and win a fight. It's just hold on and sort of don't get knocked out. Sort of imprint in the head, isn't it? Don't get knocked out. Just do anything you can to survive. And I feel like this is what the Polish man did to Okolie.
With Okolie as well, I think they were saying if he doesn't stay in camp, he's really struggling to get to the weight. He has to be in a constant cycle for cruiserweight, because we have spoken about his power going up to heavyweight. But he even made reference to it in his post-fight last night when he's talking on DAZN. He said, look, it is a struggle. If I'm not in camp, if he's out of camp, he puts that weight back on Okolie, But like we've said, Chris, he could be fantastic at heavyweight, couldn't he, because of the power he does have. So it's hard, but obviously waiting in the wings is Maris Bradis, who has all the other titles at cruiserweight. Obviously, Usyk came out of the division, and Maris Bradis was there in a Mario costume last night. I don't know if you saw.
No, I didn't spot anyone wearing a Mario.
There's been some beef with the Paul brothers, so they weren't calling him Maris. It's a typical American thing where they don't know about other countries over there. Like they think we're English half the time, don't they, and stuff like that. Anyway, they've been calling him Mario, not Maris. They probably don't even know where Latvia is. He's in a costume. He did a bit of the post-fight and pre-fight with Tony Bellew. So yeah, Maris Bradis awaits, but he's got a fight before, and they reckon Okolie will have one before they have a unification.
It makes a lot of sense, I think. I think Okolie needs to go and starch someone in the next fight, don't he? Just to make a statement. I mean, I think, he warrants a fight against Bradis, but I think after this sort of a fight, you probably just want to go away, make a headline knockout, don't you? To go into another title fight where you can sort of use that as a VT then, can't you? Sort of thing. But, it's one of those sort of fights. You do get fights like that where your opponent doesn't really come to fight. They just come to, hold on to you for dear life.
Stifle him. He wanted to stifle him, didn't he? That's all he was there to do. They know the guy has got knockout power. So kind of the tactics did work for him, but he did hurt him as well. But going back, he called Maris Bradis a clown because he was still dressed in the Mario costume. So they got him in. You're a clown. Then he handed him a McDonald's bag. He says, "I've got you a burger," because obviously Okolie worked for McDonald's many moons ago. Okay. So yeah, it was quite comical, Chris. In the post fight as well. But they've got to get that on. I think Okolie does want to unify before he goes up. So
that makes sense.
We might get another 2 or 3 fights with Okolie, but as I say, Makabu is in the running as well. I know now. Canelo's match with Bivol.
Yeah, so, I was just about to mention that.
Makabu's there as well. You see,
is that the hardest fight that Canelo could get up there, Bivol?
He'd have to go up to cruiser to fight him, or Makabu was coming down to light heavy, wasn't he? But obviously, it frees Makabu up. So there's another fight. There's another fight for Okolie or Bradis as well. So we have got some matches there. But I do think it's a struggle, the 200-pound limit for him.
He's a big guy, though. You can tell that.
He's got the frame. Yeah,
definitely.
Easy.
He's got the John Jones frame, if I remember. And John Jones was early in his UFC career, and you could tell that he had the body frame to go up a weight. Obviously, he is going up a weight now, but you can see it in Okolie 100%.
I'm just going to come away from the boxing for a bit because obviously Adesanya's done a lot of press this week. So yes. What have you taken away from it? I did read he's been very happy with the way he's been treated by the fans. He said He's had a lot of disrespect. I think people wanting stuff signed to then sell on. But he said the UK fight fans that he's seen over the past week, they've been really, really nice. And he hasn't had that issue where, they're there to try and make some money out of him, I think, get stuff signed and then sell it on. How do you feel it's gone for him? What have you taken away from him being over?
I didn't even know he was over, actually, until I actually saw him on the True Geordie podcast, because he was on with Brian on a True Geordie. So I listened to that today, because this is now obviously post Robbie Whittaker, isn't it? So it was nice to sort of listen to his thoughts, what he thought about the fight. He felt that he clearly won the fight. He thought that Whittaker was nowhere near, in control of any of the rounds. I think me and you both disagreed on that, but he's living that moment, so he knows better than what we do watching it through a television, isn't he? Really, but him being here, it was good. I mean, he's a good guy, isn't he? He's an all round sort of next level, not Anderson Silva, because he's not Anderson Silva, but I can see the comparisons that people look at him and Anderson Silva. But nice for him to be over. It's nice for him to to be there, with Lawrence Okolie and walking to the ring with him.
He's done a ton of press, mate. He was on TalkSport last week early in the morning. I had TalkSport on, and he did an interview with Alex McCarthy as well, who I've had on my podcast.
Right,
so he's done quite a bit for TalkSport. I know Alex McCarthy was very happy because he's a big fan, so he got to interview him one-on-one. So, is it to tie in with UFC London as well?
Actually, I've got something I read today. Right, Don, thank you very much.
That's a cool photo with Stitch Duran there, Don.
Yeah, Stitch was a good guy until Dana get in the boot like everybody else.
He's done well at the boxing, though. He's gone.
Yeah, he always has.
He's doing the cuts for the boxing, hasn't he? So,
Sorry,
mate, I've sidetracked you there.
No. But what I was saying is, because of this whole Ukraine-Russia thing, and I'm not going into it because we're not political people, but obviously there's whole issue now where federations and countries are wanting to kick out Russia, aren't they? Completely don't want to involve their sports people, like if it tennis or football. Well, who's main eventing UFC London, Stuart? Volkov. And where's Volkov from, Stuart?
That's a good yes. They can't do this across sport, Chris. It's going to cause chaos.
Yeah, well, there's two Russians on that card. And there's two Russians on that card. So
these fighters have got their own opinions. Look at the protesters in St. Petersburg, Chris. That have obviously they detained 5,000 people for protesting. It's all I don't know too much about it. All I know is he's done it. He's done it for legacy. Putin. He's on his way out. It reeks of when Boris Yeltsin was in power and they invaded Chechnya in 93, 94. But yeah, that's a separate.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that.
Me and you aren't politics people anyway.
I'm thinking is obviously Volkov's situation with UFC London.
They can't cut him. They can't cut him because how does he feel personally about the situation?
I don't think it's them cutting him, but I think they're going to take him off the card. That's what the rumor is at the moment. There's two Russians on the card. Obviously the UK at the moment are looking at them to say like they can't because of the situation, which is a pain in the arse. But it is what it is. Don McGuire, he's obviously Liam McGeary's friend here. He's been with Liam since day one.
Perfect, man. So you know him very well. We had him on last year, but that's cool, Don. Good to have you on, man.
Let's give us some more information about Liam before he jumps on. He's on in about 4 minutes.
He's not far away, is Liam. And Chris, it's going to cause absolute havoc, man.
It is, but that is the way things are going because you're looking at everything on Sky Sports is always popping up. They want to ban them from the FIFA World Cup, don't they? It's Belarus as well. Obviously, they have a problem with as well. But I'm not going into it like my situation is obviously UFC London's main event, and I think the other person's on the main card as well. I think he's probably second fight in the main card. But yeah, basically the rumor is that Volkov could be taken off the card because the UK don't want any Russians currently.
Who would fill the void? You obviously know, you always have ideas if these things happen, injury, political circumstance, we'll call it on this one. Who comes in? Who comes in? A good opponent for him?
Who comes in for Tom Aspinall? It's a hard one to think.
Who's ready?
Short notice.
Who's
short
ready?
Notice?
Who would be ready? Who's not fought? Maybe in the last couple of months.
There's Curtis Blades, isn't there? But I think him. I'm sure he's fighting Durkis in a couple of weeks, actually.
Yeah.
Derek Lewis, but can you be cleared before?
I don't think so,
and
mate.
if March 19th, don't forget the card.
He's fought a lot, hasn't he, as well, Derek, to be fair to his credit, and
it is quite short notice as well, isn't it? So maybe you have to find someone from the UK circuit that that fills in. There isn't obviously another heavyweight that Tom Aspinall was originally linked with before they moved to Volkov. Sergei Pelikov, something like that. He's not Russian as much as he sounds it, but he's not Russian. The person he's fighting is Russian, actually, who they replaced Tom Aspinall for. But maybe they could bump that up. I don't know yet. The situation is Volkov could be off the card on UFC London because of the whole situation. And I do see Liam McGeary at the bottom there.
I'll do a little intro when he's in. Here we go.
Here he is.
Hello, Liam. Just let him get sorted.
How you doing, big man?
Just let it settle. We'll have Liam McGeary imminently just getting set up.
How you doing, Liam?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you now, mate. It is the former Bellator light heavyweight champion, two-time guest on Big Fight Weekly. Thank you, man. We know you're busy this morning in Hawaii. How are you? How are you, man? Can you hear us?
I don't know. Can you hear us, Liam?
Hello. Hang on.
You're just getting set up.
Sounded like from the depths of hell, that, mate.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear you now? Can you hear it?
I can.
Okay, man. Yeah. So, Liam, how are you? How's things over in Hawaii? And Don McGuire says, my brother.
Can't bloody hear you.
Can you not hear us?
Are we? Is it our connection with you?
Possibly. He's early. He's early though, so we've got plenty of time. But yeah.
Right.
Okay. We'll see if he comes back. But yeah,
he'll come back.
Imminently, we will have the former Bellator light heavyweight champion, the first UK-based MMA world champion as well. Let's get that one home. Chris, you always say about that. As much as we love Bisping, and he gets all the plaudits.
Liam was the first UK guy.
In championship terms for us. So yeah, we will have him back soon. I'm sure it's just a connection issue. Live, live. You have issues, don't you, Chris?
Yeah, he'll be back on in a minute.
We're going to talk about his gym in Hawaii, aren't we, Chris?
Yeah, I want to know how he's going on. Obviously, we've seen plenty of pictures from Instagram and Facebook of what's been going on, in his gym. So it'd be nice to hear from himself. We want to know about his mindset for this weekend as well. There we go. I think he's back.
Hopefully,
back.
How are you, mate?
The volume it's not really coming out of my. I can't hear you.
Not
at all. Now?
Is it? Oh
no.
Right.
It's okay. It's okay. Right, Chris. Should we talk a bit about Jorge and Covington on the weekend? Or do you want to go on the road? Should we talk about Islam's?
Well, I think we just jump into Islam Makhachev's. But Liam might be back here. Hold on. Nope.
Right, okay. So, yeah, Islam Makhachev, Chris. And it went how we thought it was going to go. Tell him to get his earbuds. I think he's trying to connect them, Don. He's having issues, which is a shame. If it is that we can't have him on today, we will do a separate episode, I think, Chris, won't we? If we still have issues.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Right.
can. Can you hear us?
Now I can. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It
It's
keeps
all right,
changing.
mate. It's all right. He is here. He is here and live and in living colour, all the way from Hawaii. Our fellow UK guy. It is former Bellator light heavyweight champion, the first UK MMA world champion. Let's get that. Let's hit it home. It is returning for a second time, Liam McGeary. How are you, man?
Good morning.
Good
Or
morning.
good evening.
Yeah, that's
Good evening now, yeah.
We'll go
Good
with
evening.
good morning.
Good morning for me.
We'll go with good morning, won't we, Chris? We'll go with Liam's time zone.
I'm just heading to the car, see if I can get better volume. Audio's terrible on this thing.
Liam, your mate Don has sent us a message in here saying time to get earbuds.
I got earbuds, but they wasn't working.
There you go, Don. He's answered your
that
question.
Was the problem I was dealing with. It's like, why are they not coming out of my ears? Oh.
It's okay.
I'm switching this car audio.
Okay, man.
I'm working a bit better then.
Yeah, whatever's comfortable for you.
We'll let you get set up, man. Because we've got quite a bit to ask you.
Yeah. I need your mindset for Masvidal and Covington as well.
Masvidal and
Kobe Covington. Yeah, I want to see what your mindset is going into something like this. Like, obviously the hatred and the former friends and stuff.
Sorry. I've got music going off and all sorts here. Right, we're sorted. Right. Mindset for what? Colby Covington go to fight a friend?
Yeah, we want the fighters. We want the fighters' perspective.
I wonder what do you like, Masvidal, Covington? Obviously, we know as fighters, but you've been a fighter yourself. What would your mindset be in this situation?
My mindset is just the same as any other time. We're going to go get work, going to go get paid. You're against a former friend, so a former training partner, so the kind of things that they do, the kind of games that they play. It's just whether they've learned any new tricks, right? So you just got to be prepared for them. There's that added pressure of fighting against a friend. But I think it's the same as any other fight. You just go in there and it's just another guy at the end of the day. You're just going in there doing what you do, having to stay focused on what you do. And not trying to think about what they're doing. And once you can take that out of the fact and you can just go in there and do your thing, then, but you have to take your mind away from the fact that was your former friend, former training partner. Yeah. And you have to just see it as a body and that's it.
Is it easy to sell a fight when you've got someone as good as Colby Covington can sell a fight? I know Masvidal can sell a fight as well, but is it easy for a fight when you've got someone like Kobe sitting across from you, trying to get eyes on the fight? I know they don't really need to sell anything because people want to see it anyway, but just thinking as a hindsight, is it easy when you've got someone who can shit talk as good as he can?
Well, it just adds all the fun then, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Colby changed his persona. In the fight world, he was never like way back in the beginning. He was never this much brawn and balls, let's say. But now he's turned into the fighter that like the UFC want. Now he's selling fights, and everyone wants to see him get his head kicked in. And it's. But the thing is, like, I've watched a few of his fights, and the dude is a fucking machine.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He just keeps going. I never really watched too many of his fights, and I was like, let me just watch. I think it was Masvidal and the Usman fight, and I was like, damn, he took it to Usman. And then the second one as well, like he did his fighting style impressed me. He comes to fight, he enjoys fighting, and he's tough. Masvidal, I like Masvidal, but I think Masvidal was the flying knee, and then he's kind of talked himself into fights. But I believe Colby Covington beats Masvidal on this one. I think the shit. Yeah,
absolutely. Will they be hugging and kissing by the end of it? That's what I want to ask you.
The fight, when you fight someone, right? It's you two are sharing that moment, right? So there's only you two can understand what the feelings are. And you've got nothing but love and respect for the person. You've just beat the crap out of them for the last 15 minutes, 25 minutes, right? They've been trying to do exactly the same to you, and you're both standing at the end of that. The only thing is to do is to hug each other and be like, yo, fair play for taking that. You hit me with some hard shots. I hit you with some hard shots. You're still standing. I'm still standing. Respect, and that's what we are. We're warriors. We're warriors who stand and fucking bang, and those two do. So we are in for a good fight. A very entertaining fight, I believe.
Well, we've still yet to see the press conference, which I think would probably be Wednesday over here, on it? Which is obviously, them two can shit talk, so it'd be quite interesting to see what they say to each other. What I was also going to ask you about Masvidal is, obviously, he's coming off that, hellacious knockout from Usman. How does that play into coming into a fight after, having that situation happen to you? Because obviously it was a big knock that you took.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to go back and hold your hands up and start changing what you was doing before. It does play in your mind, and you will always have that doubts. But again, like, fighters have to put that thought at the back of their minds. Like, you can't think about the last fight, what you was just in. You can't think about the last time you got hit. You can't. Those negative thoughts need to be taken out of your mind and just forgotten about and just left. You'll come back to them when you need to deal with them another day, right? But at this moment in time, you've got a job to do. And that should be your focus, not thinking about, oh shit, my last fight got knocked out. I need to do this. And no. You start thinking about that, and that's basically what's going to happen in the next fight. So just stay prepared, forget about the last one, and stay focused.
Will Covington win?
I think he wins this one. Yeah.
Chris has been of that thinking, haven't you, Chris?
Yeah, I just think Covington has got too much. It's the cardio and the pressure that Colby Covington brings. As long as he doesn't get clipped, because anyone can get clipped. We've all seen it before. But I think he can rush Masvidal against the cage, can't he? Dirty box. And then, Deep Waters is bringing him down, isn't he, into the grappling things and start pounding him from, top guard then. So I think these are things that Covington can do. I'm not saying that Masvidal can't win the fight, but I think that Covington has more skills onto his arsenal than what Masvidal has. My opinion, obviously.
Yeah.
I was also going to ask you, I don't know if you're in with the lightweights. Were you impressed with Islam Makhachev? He did fight the week just gone against Bobby Green. Wasn't a fight, obviously, people wanted to see, because we all knew that Bobby Green wasn't going to cope with Makhachev. But what your thoughts on Makhachev, going forward?
I haven't watched. I never watched any of the fights on the weekend. But I did see a clip, and the clip I saw was basically him getting off. I thought it was the other one, his coach,
Khabib,
yeah, because he's got exactly the same style. Pinned him up, got those legs nice and tight. That's just the wrestling style that they bring. Bobby Green's just come off of a fucking fight 2 weeks ago, was it?
Yeah. And he looked really good as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you still got it, but you can look good, but then all of a sudden it's like you've been doing this now for the last 12 weeks, right? At a high level. Your body's tired. I don't care what level you are athletic, right? To go into 2 fights after 2 weeks, it takes it out of you. And when you've got someone like I said, I don't know. I haven't watched too many of this guy's fights, right? But I've watched the other one's fights, and the pressure that they bring, right? They're fucking used to wrestling bears, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
I know, yeah. I know.
Yes, they are. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it's a different mentality. It's a different game that they're bringing, and it's not a game that people have seen before.
My apologies.
Chris wrestles the dog.
Yeah,
he wrestles his pooch, Liam.
I've got 3 of them. They all trying to jump on the table.
Mate, I've got 3 kids. They do exactly the same.
Yeah, I've got 3 kids as well. I know. It's pain. Liam, your mate, Don, he disagrees with, I don't know if it's either me or yourself when it comes to the fight between Kobe and Masvidal here. He says, I disagree, mate. So I don't know if that's me or you.
He's probably disagreeing with me.
He's also said he interviewed Colby. There you go, as an amateur.
To the UFC, yeah. See, he knows Colby. He knows Colby very well.
Thing is, he just based himself off Conor in a verbal sense. He knew that could make money, so.
But hasn't everybody?
Well, I don't know. Chael's son did it before Conor McGregor, though.
Chael's was different. Chael's wasn't as
pro wrestling.
Chael never went into the insults as much as Conor did. Conor did take Chael was the one that first raised it. Then Conor came in and then just completely obliterated that and just raised the bar up to where the level which every fighter needs to go to. But then again, now every fighter's copying what Conor McGregor says and does, and it's. I got friends who live from down I got friends who come from the same place as Conor, and they're all exactly the same. Like, you say one thing to them, they've got a tongue like a dagger, and they'll come back quick as anything. You're like, how the hell did they even think of that? Then the next thing, they come back again. Then they'll just start ripping and ripping and ripping, and it's like that. That's just crumbling area, man. The Irish lot are really, really good at shit talking. And with him taking that into the game was just like, wow.
Yeah. Who do you like watching when you do get a chance to watch? I know you're busy with the gym and everything over there in Hawaii, but who do you like to watch? Fan perspective.
I like the Diaz boys. I do like Masvidal, and I do like Colby. So, like, I like people that come to fight. I don't like people that come dance around, try and play it safe. I like people that come to scrap. This is what we got to do. This is what we're doing. Let's lay it down on the line for the next 15, 25 minutes. Like, they're the guys who I like.
You must have been impressed with
that's the British. That's the British in you. That.
Yeah.
You must be impressed with a gig on Masasi on the weekend at Bellator against Van der Voort. Obviously took him a couple of minutes to dismantle Van der Voort. I think Masasi too good for that division against anyone.
So. I think so.
He gives Whittaker and Adesanya a really big test if he ever fought them to. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah, but again, they need to do that cross promotion thing. That's what they need to do. Champion versus champion.
UFC would never cross promote with Bellator.
Of course they wouldn't. Of course they wouldn't. Imagine that. And they'll get their asses kicked by the Bellator fighters, and then it's just that's it. The game over for the UFC.
Well, no, you just send in Garner in, Liam. He just knocks them all out then, doesn't he? Like a pinball machine.
Yeah.
I also obviously want to speak to you obviously on Bellator, because last time we spoke to you, you were obviously still going for your last surgery on your jaw, weren't you? And obviously a few weeks after we spoke to you, the news broke that Bellator have released you, and obviously I was extremely shocked considering you were injured and you couldn't fight at that point. What was your thoughts, your feelings?
Imagine you work at Tesco's, right? And you're loading the shelves up, and something falls down, right? Breaks your foot, okay? You're in work. Now you go see your boss. Listen, I broke my leg. I can't work. All right. We'll have to lay you off. Still get paid, right? Imagine Tesco's sacking you because you fucking broke your foot while stacking their shelves. Imagine what happened. Lawsuits and all this kind of stuff. And so my thoughts about me breaking my jaw inside the Bellator cage and then them laying me off because of, like, I got a broken jaw. What happened? I'm extremely pissed off, and Bellator can go fuck themselves, right, for what they've done. So at the end of the day, Bellator they give out this whole we care for the fighters, we do this, we do that. It's a load of fucking bullshit, if you ask me. I'm now living proof of what promotions do to fighters, former champions, people that fucking sacrifice everything to get in their cage, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, you're injured. We'll release it, but not even tell me. Let the fucking Twitter know first, and then let someone from England then texts me. Oh, so
you should be thinking of your welfare. Your welfare. At
the end of the day, everyone just thinks about one thing, and it's fucking money. Right? These promotions, money. Putting bums in seats, money. Right? That's it. They don't give a shit about people's feeling or people's fucking well-being or nothing about that.
So have you spoken to you since? Have they sent you anything, an email, a letter, or just like? Nothing was.
Maybe that'll be done with them.
So what's the future hold for you now? Obviously, you've had your surgery. I take it now. How's the chin feeling? What's the future hold? Obviously, I see your pictures on Instagram and Facebook of you working hard in your gym. So what's the future hold for you?
I just, you know what? I just sat back for a little while. I put so much into becoming the champion. So much into getting to where I got to. And when I got there, I was just like, sit back and I can relax a little bit. The jaw got broken, but because I'd focused, I'm almost 40 years old now, and I've just literally, that was all I was focused on, my work beforehand. Now that I focused on the title, I had to sit back and focus on my family and what I needed to do for the next one. I got these 3 kids to look after, and yes, the gym now. So I wanted to get that in a place where it's starting to move forward, and it is. I'm getting a few people interested now. There's a few things coming off what I'm planning to do. So I will, mate. I'm going to be getting back in that cage, but it's just I needed to get my myself situated first instead of worrying. Like, we've just seen what the promotions do to people. They don't give a fuck about the fighters. So at the end of the day, I've got to get myself prepared, ready. And then when I go in there, I can just smash fuck out of people. I haven't got to worry about anything because my gym's going well. My family are good. So as opposed to me just going, oh, you know what? I'm just going to focus. Because when you're a fighter, you don't really care about too much else. You just go to the gym. You finish training, you go eat, you'll have a rest, and you go train again. There's not much else that can come into your thought process. Fighters that are dads, that's tough. Like, you've got to. I try and get 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to get in the gym and lift. You know what I mean? Before, when everyone's asleep, I've got an hour where I can quickly get out. So I get to the gym, I lift, then I go back down, dropping the kids off at school and doing this and that. I sit down at 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, oh my god, what a day!
We appreciate you sparing the time, man, because you're absolutely chocker.
That's fine. I dropped Fury off at school. I got a nice view, which I'm looking at here. So I don't mind that.
Don's asked you a message here, Liam. He wants to know your thoughts on AJ McKee versus Pitbull 2.
2? Have they fought already?
Yes, I think AJ McKee beat Pitbull.
He beat him. When was that? Was that the weekend?
No, I can look at it for you. That's not a problem.
How is the jaw, Liam?
Jaw's good.
Yeah, just while Chris pops that up, because I know obviously it's been a long road, hasn't it, for you with the surgeries?
Oh yeah, but jaw's good now. Yeah, I've taken a couple of punches. But I'm never going to give anyone a free shot, right?
No.
So I move around, but they've not managed to tag my chin. I'm about a couple on the top of the head or whatnot. But I'm keeping my hands fucking high now. Like,
you've adapted the style.
This is glued here, and this is glued. Like,
yeah, but you got kicked in the face by his name's got up my head now.
Yeah,
by Phil Davis, which was a kick when you were on your knees. So
it was illegal. It was an illegal.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Right, here you go, Liam. AJ McKee beat Pitbull in the finals of the Featherweight Grand Prix in July 2021.
Yeah, I remember that now. I remember that.
And then McKee's they're targeted the second fight in April. No date set yet. There you go.
You know what? I think AJ McKee beats him again. I like Pitbull. Pitbull is a tough dude, right?
Both brothers are, yeah.
AJ McKee is he's the next fucking generation, isn't he? Like, he brings what the fight game is coming to. So I'm excited to see. I like watching AJ McKee fight as well. He's very exciting. But I think he beats Pitbull again. I think Pitbull's time at the top is done. And don't get me wrong, Pitbull has spent a fucking long time at the top. Very, very good champion. Very, very tough guy. One of, if not the best in the world at that weight category. But time ticks on. We all get older. The next one comes in, and young lion hand over the light, whatever. Fucking pass over the torch, is that the saying?
Could you think AJ McKee could beat the likes of Max Holloway and Volkanovski?
I think so. I believe he can. I believe he's young. His mentality is there. I believe they're going to be tough fights for him, but I think he can definitely hang with the best of them.
I'm trying to think now. Oh, you go. Don's 18 now, but obviously we know AJ McKee's 18 now.
There you go. Record speaks for itself.
That's a good record. It's a good record. In the Bellator sort of mix now, then. So who were the fighters that you saw that you thought were up and comers? Say from our circuit, say from the UK, if you can remember, Ireland, Scotland. Obviously, Welsh fighters are starting to break through in UFC and Bellator. As obviously Brett Johns is in Bellator now and was in UFC. But was there anybody you caught your eye when you were sort of, in your prime as a champion? Did you look around and see?
So what? 7 years ago now. It's a fucking long time ago. 7 years yesterday, actually.
That's it. Bloody hell.
The anniversary.
I know. Yeah. That's exactly it. I can't believe it was so long ago. But I mean, so the fighters, mate, it's all changed. It's all changed since when I was even looking at the guys coming up. You had the Wolf. What's his name?
I can't remember these because his nickname's the Wolf. So that was the up and coming guys when I was there, and he's come up, and I don't think he fell short of the title. So there was a few, but yeah, I don't really know, to be honest with you, the answer to that question. Right.
Don's asked another question here for you, Liam.
Yeah, he wanted me to beat him for the. Yeah, that was his birthday. So his birthday's fucking happy birthday, Don.
Liam, can we just go on to boxing and obviously our dominance at heavyweight, UK-based fighters. Do you catch much of Fury, Joshua? Do you get a chance?
Yeah, I've watched just highlights. It's hard with the time difference over here.
Of course.
But I've been reading that Tyson Fury's offered out to fight the champion. What's his name?
Who's it?
The heavyweight champion.
Oh, Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
But Ngannou's injured now. I think his ACL and his MCL, he popped them in this recent fight against Cyril Gane. So I'd imagine that's what 8-9 months layoff is anyway.
Yeah, and he's the champion as well, isn't he?
And he's got obviously the contract issues with UFC as well ongoing because obviously he wants more than 600,000.
Fucking right he does. And why wouldn't he? He's a champion. And what are they going to do? Oh, he's injured now. Oh, well, we'll just stick another interim champion in there and fucking fuck this guy over.
Yeah, and that interim title will go towards an up-and-coming guy called John Jones. I don't know if you've heard of him, Liam.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. Let's bang him back in there. The fucking woman-beaten, cokehead, fucking, like, all the other shit.
How many chances do you want to have? It's unreal.
Yeah, again, it goes back to the point what I made before. How many bums does he put in seats? How much does he fucking raise in revenue just by having his name on the card?
Dana's business acumen at the end of the day, but rightly or wrongly, he's an idiot. He'd have so many more fights than he's got. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All at his feet, the world's best on his day. It's an absolute disgrace, though.
He was, yeah.
He was. But he was also young as well, wasn't he?
You've got guys who want it as well, who aren't as naturally gifted as the man, and they'll give anything to be on that level. It's disgusting. It is. He's a fantastic fighter, though. On his day.
Very, very good.
He's fantastic. He's amazing.
Video game sometimes. Some of the
hybrid. He's a hybrid. It's like Izzy. Exactly. Adesanya the same.
In a way, but John Jones has the wrestling acumen. Izzy doesn't have that acumen that John Jones has for the wrestling.
To be fair to Adesanya, though, he went up to light heavyweight as well.
I know, yeah. But they're big boys, man. It's that 185 to 205 jump, like they're coming down from 230. Like, it's a lot of person to be on top of you and trying to move. And like, I know jiu-jitsu is made for the smaller guy, but when you add punches in there as well, it changes the fucking game, man. Like, you're trying to pull off moves to try and sweep, it's getting banged in the face up, back to square one again. So
I don't know. You must have watched Glover Teixeira, win the title at 40 last year now. Well, last year now. So that must have given you some inspiration, that Liam.
There's always inspiration, man. They're never too old. Like, never too old. Just you got to fight smart, just to change your game up a little bit. Use your benefit, use your advantages. He's an old man strength. Got him down and beat the crap out of him.
Which surprised me, though, because Jan Blachowicz actually had a very good takedown defense, as a ratio throughout his UFC career. So it was quite shocking to see. Glover Teixeira, I can see why everyone, was a bit emotional. I wasn't, but a lot of people were in a way because it's, he's worked his arse off to get where he is. But obviously that must be inspiration for you as well, though. Seeing all these guys.
The old boys.
Through. Yeah, you're an old boy now.
It's hopefully all the old boys, yeah.
Yes.
We're pigeonholing you here.
Yeah,
we're pigeonholing you, mate.
Hey, mate, you know what, right? I didn't actually think it was my 39th birthday when it was my 39th birthday, right? And I don't feel mentally. I don't feel old. Body wise, like that's the only thing that lets you down. Like in your head, you're like, yeah, I can do that, and you're like, hang on a minute, why is my leg not getting up as high as what I used to, and why am I not going to be able to move as fast? And I used to be able to catch that if it fell down there. Like all these things start slowly going away, and like shit. 10 years ago, I'd have fucking been running around rings around that. Like,
kids don't help in that matter though, either though, Liam.
They wear excitement, don't they? Imagine dropping.
I get it all the time, and since we last spoke, Stuart's expecting his first.
Yeah, in July, man. In July, 36, Liam. I couldn't have done it a decade ago.
Nah.
26, it weren't the time for me, but yeah, gotta start, mate. 36.
Exactly.
Not getting.
I was 36. I was 36 as well.
There we go. We shared it. There we go, man. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
You got to live your life. You got to do what you want to do first, and then it's time for the kids. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't run around doing what you want to do anymore. You know what I mean? It's just as much as you want to, it just doesn't happen. Like,
absolutely.
No, you have a week off like I did, and end up playing Animal Crossing on the Switch with my two other girls. Like, instead of having a few beers and just doing what a normal man would do, I'm sitting on the Switch playing Animal Crossing, thinking, "What's happened to me?"
Yeah. I just have to wait till they go to bed and sit on my steps for a couple cans. Like,
You've got the weather for it, though.
Yeah. It is nice.
Your old mate, Dan Seven, beat the greatest after 40. Don McGuire's calling you out there. There's a call out there. There's a call out if ever there was one, Liam. What have you got in
return? I'm saying I'm old, right? But I'm not saying I'm done. There's a difference. No. Like, I will get back in there. I will get back in. I'll mess people up.
We want to see you. We want to see you in that cage again, mate. Me and Chris.
Yeah, this year for sure. Like, I want to get in there this year. Like I say, mate, I've just focused on the last however many months, 8 months or whatever, fucking doing what I needed to do. But this year I will be getting back in there. That's yeah. I miss it. I really do miss it.
Great. You were a good fighter, but you were a really good fighter and you were good to watch. Not just because, again, when I said this last time I spoke to you, I'm very biased when it comes to UK fighters. I'm not going to lie, but I always want to root for you. So it'd be good to see you, get back in the cage. Is there any indication where you'd go, or are you not bothered particularly?
I don't know. Do you know what? Again, I just want to have a few fun fights. I don't know how much longer I'm going to continue doing this for, but the fights I do have left in me, I just want them to be fun and entertaining. Like, whatever organisation I go to, there's a few of them popping up now. Ones will look after you. So yeah, I just want to put on a couple more entertaining shows, and then and just sit on the beach, watch my kids run around.
Is BJ Penn not knocking about coming out of the pubs anymore? No.
I heard he was running for governor or running for some kind of office job.
I did see that on Twitter. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. At least he's got himself out of the hole he was in.
Yeah,
but
BJ
Penn should have come knocking, fucking asking me about this leg lock game. You know what I mean? Like, that's what BJ Penn should have. Going against Ryan Hall.
Don sent you a last message there.
Liam, I gotta go. I love you, mate. Liam will be the champion again. Hashtag the people's champ. What an endorsement from Don McGuire. Right.
And also, Don, before you go, how about you subscribe to Big Fight Weekly?
Yeah, Don, this
there you go. Big Fight Weekly.
Liam's been here twice. You've only been here today, but yeah, fantastic to have you on, Don. Thank you for all your comments as well, buddy. Anything else, Chris?
Good peoples.
No, I mean we spoke about Masvidal, and I did have this to bring up actually, just to sort of the breakdown of it all, because I didn't know if everyone knew.
50 fights, man.
Damn, that's a lot.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Like 37. He's got the reach on him, hasn't he? There, but it's like you say, it's just what Colby can do elsewhere. I think it's on the feet,
I think Colby's just a fucking machine, Yeah, and that fact, and you can hit someone as hard as you can hit them, and they still keep coming forward. It's like, damn, what have I got to do with this guy? Like,
we are drawing parallels to them both fighting Usman, aren't we? But it could be totally different. Right. We're basing it off Masvidal getting absolutely annihilated. And Colby did fantastic, didn't he? Especially in the second fight.
That was going to be my question. Have you watched Usman Kobe 2? And did you think, because I've rewatched it back, and I feel like Kobe beat Usman. I don't know what you feel.
No, I think Usman did enough to keep that belt, right? That you got to beat a champion to take the belt off him, right? I don't think he beat him. I think Usman definitely hands on beat Colby. But you're right. fighters, different styles make fights, right? Colby and Masvidal is two different people. So yeah, that's why it's going to be a completely different fight. I'm not writing out Masvidal at all.
No,
like, Masvidal's fucking very, very talented, but from what I see of Colby, like that's just a steam train just coming at you and keep coming at you and non-stop keep coming at you. Hit him, keep coming at you.
Look at Darren. Huh? Look at Darren Till before he got knocked out against Masvidal.
Yeah.
Darren Till was in the ascendancy and he totally flipped the script, didn't he? When he caught him, my God. So he's got to punch his chance, and we know he's heavy-handed.
Yeah.
But this is what we want. We want these variables, don't we? We want the unknown a little bit going into it.
Add the excitement.
Yeah, but I also said, and I said this, Liam, to Stuart last week, and we sort of briefly touched on Masvidal and Covington. Usman's fought them both twice. Where do they go after this fight, though? Because I don't see UFC putting a third fight on that quickly between Kobe and Usman. And Masvidal obviously got knocked out by Usman last year. It was an emphatic knockout as well. Where do they go? Because if one wins, either one wins, they're not getting a title shot against Usman next. And it sort of clogs up that sort of division in again, doesn't it?
Well, they need more fighters, don't they? It's just that simple. They're running out of fucking people to put up on the against the champion.
Well, there is one guy, but we don't know if he's there yet. But Hazmat Shemaev, I'm sure you know who Hazmat Shemaev is, or you've seen him.
Oh yeah, is that the one who's been destroyed? He fights at different weight categories, and
185 and 170. Yeah, he's done both in UFC. I think in a week he did 170 and then 185.
That's
Dubai,
right. Yeah. Well, there you go. There's another different animal coming up. So I think the champions need to be fucking focused on what they've got, because there is some young people now snapping at their heels, and they're different animals coming at you and coming for you. So,
Liam, I'd be remiss also. What about Tom Aspinall coming through, our UK fighter? Have you seen much of Tom Aspinall coming through in the UFC?
I have seen his name. I haven't seen any of his fights just yet.
Because it's Chris was talking about earlier. Obviously, with all this with Russia, there could be fights. He's meant to be coming up against Volkov, isn't he, Chris? At UFC London, which is a huge step for him, you know. But he's been fantastic up to now, hasn't he, Chris?
This is a next step for Volkov. So Volkov would be, his sort of his platform to upper echelon of the heavyweight division. But obviously with the whole situation at the moment, I only read, I don't know if it's official, but apparently they're saying that UK have said no to any Russian sports people coming over and doing anything in the UK. Volkov and Aspinall are supposed to fight March the 19th. So
that's not happening.
Well, so far, as far as I know, they don't know yet. But from what I've read, that is what a possibility they could be saying no to Volkov coming over.
Fucking hell. It's all right, Messi.
Can you get a put the poundage on for heavyweight and come and face Aspinall in London?
Yeah, save the day, Liam. Come on.
Just get it past 205. You got the height, you'd be fine.
I'm about 220 at the moment now, anyway.
Oh, Fedor fought heavyweight at 220. You'll be all right.
Oh, mate, you don't need to be that heavy. I'm fucking going in at 250, 260. How are you going to move?
Now that's why Fedor was so good in Pride, because he was 220.
Yeah, exactly. I could just jump into heavyweight right now as I am.
There you go. We'll get on the old blower to Dana White and say, look, we found you the guy. And he's UK as well.
Liam, also, I'd like you to plug the gym. You know, you were in the process of setting it all up when we last had you on.
Yes.
So how's it going, man? How's it been? How is everyone in there? Has it been?
Everyone sounds. I'm getting some really tough guys coming in through the door. I've got a few fighters, people that are interested in fighting, young as well. So start young in their careers, like amateur. So I'm looking forward to being able to work with them through their amateur career and then going into the professional as well. So this island is full of scrappers, right? Full of fighters. There's also a lot of gyms here. So basically, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and just attracting the people that I'm attracting and just working with them what I'm working with them. They're enjoying the classes. The level of fitness is getting better. Their technique is getting better. So we just keep working and practicing. And then anyone that comes in, I do the open fight nights on a Saturday night where I try and get some just pick fighters around the island. They want to get a little bit of experience. Let's say it's more in a fight. I don't want everyone sparring and moving around at the same time. I want everyone like one fight at a time, so you get to watch, coach, get to enjoy what they're doing, and then it's only like 3 or 4 minute rounds, and then the next one goes in. So everyone's involved, you know. Just a different feel to a normal fight, go in a cage, fight this and fight that, and so I just want to try and bring something different to the table with a fight club, not the same old gym, the same old same, like just a different look at it.
What about dipping your toes into promoting?
Well, I mean, again, I will try, but lockdown, Hawaii is the worst fucking state, right? They're still doing that mask mandate shit, right? So I don't know when they're going to start doing the audience work, where they're going to have people coming in, spectators. So once they start doing events again, I did hear though, Fight to Win Jiu-Jitsu's coming over here in April. So maybe that might be a sign where they're moving forward. Like this is the last state to do anything. So it's just riding out this coronavirus bullshit, and then we've got the war down to roll out. So I don't know, mate. I just gotta keep doing what we're doing.
Absolutely.
It's the only thing we can do. And when the time is right, we can then move forward and say, right, well, we can do this now and we can do that.
Chris, anything before we close out?
No, it's good to hear. And obviously, I can see you're really passionate about being a coach as well. So obviously, once you're all done with fighting, that's obviously it's an easy progression for you to go to, then, isn't it?
Yeah, I love this. I do love this sport, you know, and I'm passionate about how we go put it across. I'm passionate for my fighters now. Like this is a different feeling. Like I'm just usually thinking of myself and just going in there and my love of the sport was able to push me through my fucking 5-hour training session days. So now I'm able to turn it around and use my energy in a different way to push other fighters. Like so, I'm just gonna keep pushing on. That's it.
Chris?
Well, honestly, I really appreciate you coming on. I know, obviously, being busy, taking kids to school, I know how that feels, and I know how that goes. Stuart, you'll get that at one point when they're old enough.
I will.
I really appreciate you coming on, Liam. Breaking down a bit. Yeah. Gets worse when you have more as well, Stuart.
Yeah, because you've just got over the nappy thing and bottles, and you have another one, and you're like, all right. Now they're oh shit, we've got to do it all over again.
As I said to you, Stuart, take your sleep now while you can. Enjoy your sleep.
Sleep was never my problem. Like
mine were, yeah.
Yeah, I never really had I never really lost too much sleep. I was lucky enough. Mine would just sit there with a boob in its mouth all night, like stick that in your gob. I'm going to sleep.
Our guest for Powered 4, Chris, sorry I've jumped in.
No, you fired away.
Our guest again, returning for a second time, former Bellator light heavyweight champion, and obviously you've got the gym. What's the name of the gym, Liam? Just for
Fight Club, the Honolulu faction.
Fight Club Honolulu faction. The gym is set. You can go there, train. You're going to get some fantastic training. You're doing it, running it a totally different way to have a gym. So yeah, please, we implore you, if you're in the vicinity, get to Liam's gym, man. You can have some fantastic training there.
Even if you're coming away, even if you're coming over on holiday, like, come find out, come check it out.
Pop in, man. Absolutely. Had to come back, Liam. When you see the man in the mirror, who do you see? There you go. It's a good closing question there, Liam.
It is. It is. At the moment, I just see some scruffy dude who needs a shave and a haircut.
Absolutely.
No, I know that's a very good question. Very good question. I love the man that I see in the mirror now.
Good, and I'm glad for you, mate.
Right.
Our guest.
It's been a rough few years.
Our guest.
Get back at it now.
Sorry, I'm trying to close out.
I know.
Sorry, Stu.
Sorry. No, carry on, Chris.
Listen, Liam, thank you very much for coming on. I hope we can get you back on at another later date, and you can give us some more information that you're fighting Tom Aspinall at UFC London, and we'll all be ready there for you.
I'll let you know for sure, right?
Thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Our guest all the way from Hawaii, by way of the UK, a fellow Brit. It is former Bellator light heavyweight champion. It is Mr. Liam McGeary. Thank you for coming on for the second time.
Thanks for having me on the show. Nice
we will
chat.
see you. We will see you next week, guys, for episode
Take it easy, boys.
49.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye, mate. Sorry, Stu. You might need to just sort of say that again.
And we will see you next week. It's probably going to be next Monday for episode 49 of Powerful.tv Big Fight Weekly. A big thank you to Liam McGeary taking time out in his busy schedule. Chris worked the magic again to get Liam on. So it was fantastic to have an interview again. And Chris, we'll see everyone next Monday.
One more thing before we go. Just got an announcement to make that me and Stuart will also be on the Social Sports Network podcast. You can find out if you go on Google, right, the Sports Social Network. You can find all our audio, all on there. They're handling all our audio podcasts. So if you need to find us, Sports Social Podcasts.
Absolutely. Perfectly done there. Ready to move over to them. And fantastic. We look forward to that. And we will see you. It'll probably be next Monday for episode 49. And thank you very much for watching. And we will see you next week. Take care.